So if you want to add the jQuery Lightbox to your site, you have two choices. Either you can copy and paste and put this whole folder in, or you can copy and paste the contents of the folder and paste that directly into your root folder. So if that were the case, then I would see a folder here, images, CSS, gallery2, images again, JS, photos, and then this index, instead of it being inside the folder here. So in a way that's preferable, but the problem is you need to have a folder here called images. So that means you can't have a folder called images. You'd have to call yours something like photos or something else like that, because you can't actually have two folders called images. So again, the first choice is copy all of the files that are inside the jQuery Lightbox and paste them directly into your root folder. The downside of that is you can't name anything else images. The other option is, like what I've done here, is copy the whole folder and paste the whole jQuery folder in to your root folder. And this has its kind of downsides as well too. Not really a big downside, it's just what I'm going to cover in this video. What we did in the last video is if I wanted to use their page and add my second div to it, it's really no problem at all. All I need to do is add a tiny bit more of script and just change what's inside of here, the name of the ID, to whatever the name of my div with the ID is, and then it's going to target it. No problem. So you always could approach your assignment like that, which is any page that's going to have the Lightbox on it, just simply put it inside of this root folder, and then you can link any one of these files to that file. That's not a problem either. But if you have a file that's out here, such as my blog, see how it's outside of my jQuery folder? It's not inside it, it's outside it. I'm going to have to change some of the default addresses that we're going to copy from their index page a little bit. So when I'm over here in their index page, if I look at the scripts up at the top, I can see that it's telling the browser, look for the JS folder to be able to find these jQuery and jQuery Lightbox files, and also my CSS file. It's saying look in the JS folder. But if I copy these scripts that are needed to get the Lightbox to work and I put them directly onto my blog, the browser's not going to be able to find them because the browser has to go inside of the jQuery Lightbox. So we just need to add the name of this folder first. So over here I have blog open. And actually I don't even need to have blog open yet. I just wanted to have this page ready. First thing I'm going to do is from their index page here, is I'm going to copy the scripts and I'm going to copy the style sheet. So I'm copying these three lines right here. The script type that's pointing to the jQuery file, the script that's pointing to the jQuery Lightbox file, and the script that's pointing it to the CSS file as well. I'm going to copy those and paste them into my target. This is blog, so this is your my image gallery. I'm going to paste them into here right after the title. And now what I need to do is I need to add that folder name, jQuery Lightbox 0.5 / and let's just double check that that's correct. No, it is not. I put an H instead of a J. jQuery Lightbox 0.5. I need to copy that and paste it in front of these other folders' names. So now when this page runs, the browser sees it, it'll look inside of jQuery and then it'll look in the JS or it'll look in the CSS folder. Okay, so that should work. Now I'll go back over to their index page and now I need to copy the script, and it has more than I need, but that's fine. I'm just going to copy from opening script to closing script. So copy this and go into my target page, and I'm going to paste it right after. And I only needed one of those, so it starts at the $, so I'm going to erase or delete an entire one, so including the closing brackets. And so now I just have one script. And I need to change the name of this ID here, because mine on this page is not called gallery, it's called main. If I scroll down here, I can see in my code I have the div with the ID of main, and that's where I have all my images. So I need to go up here and change that gallery to main. And notice I'm keeping the A afterwards, main. So now this page is telling the browser, I'm running JavaScript, and to be able to understand this JavaScript, go into this folder called jQuery Lightbox, and then go into another folder called JS, and then that's where you're going to find this JS folder to be able to interpret what's and run all the rules for this. And that's just same thing for the next one, and for the next one, same thing but for the CSS. And then here it's saying, hey browser, I'm using jQuery, that's what the money sign stands for, and I'm running something called a function, which basically says if there's something with the ID of main, apply this lightbox to it. And to interpret the lightbox, you go into these files here. Okay, but now over in the design view, I need to link these images to their larger versions. And I think I have some versions over here in my gallery too, and it's not exactly the same images, but for the sake of example, it's fine. I'm just going to link them to a larger version. So we get 3 images that we can test, and I'll just link them to anything that is larger. I'm not really paying attention if they're the same image or not. Okay, so let's save it and see how this is going so far in the browser. So now when I click on it, the jQuery is working. I'm getting the larger image I linked to. But you may notice that my close sign is missing, and my previous and next image signs are also missing. So why are those missing? It still is working, but they're not actually there. They're missing because, I go back over here to Dreamweaver, they're missing because in my JS file, the JS file is telling the browser just to look for images. The exact same issue that we had on my on the actual page. I have to add that little bit of address to tell the browser to look in the folder Lightbox to be able to get to the images. So same thing over here. So I'm in the file, and you should see it here, but if you don't, you can open it up directly from the JS file, JS folder. So jQuery Lightbox 0.5, open that up, and scroll down a little bit to where it says about the image loading, the previous image, the next image, or the closed image. And we have to correct the address. So that is going to be in jQuery hyphen lightbox hyphen 0.5 slash, and then I can just copy that and paste it down here, and paste it, and paste it, and paste it. So now let's save this page, Control S, and I'll go back to, I can click on where it says source code, and I'm back on my original blog page and preview it. And so now I have my images, which look like buttons, but they actually are images. But here's the problem. If I go back to Dreamweaver, and I'm going to go back to my original page here that came my starter page that came inside of jQuery Lightbox, and let's preview this one and see what happened to it. It now lost its little buttons. So that means you need to make a choice. Or you can copy and paste and make duplicates of the code. But basically, I changed the code here. I changed what's inside of this JS folder, the jQuery Lightbox. So now every time this is being called, the browser is looking first for it to go inside of here and then to go inside of here. So what this really means for you is that you need to make a choice, that either all of your pages, your HTML pages that have the Lightbox need to all be inside of this folder, or they all need to be outside of the folder, and you just simply have to add this address. One or the other. It's not going to work doing both, unless you want to get into doing some more copying and pasting of code. Okay, so that should hopefully get you started with the idea of how to be able to set up your own Lightbox on your page. Just in summary, you're going to go back to that index page, you're copying the scripts and the link to the style sheet. You're going to, if it's outside of the jQuery folder, you're going to add just the name of that folder, and then you're going to copy your opening and closing script and change the name here to be whatever the name of your div is.